Hi, this is part of Unit 1, Lesson 7, and here we're looking at addition within 1000 with a missing addend. Now remember, addends are the two terms that we add together to get a sum. So this is a particularly tricky problem because it deals with time as well as with addition. But let's take what we know and see if we could figure this out together. Let's read this problem together. By 7 a.m., and that means 7 in the morning, Jose had already walked some steps. He walked 726 more steps by noon to make his total steps 837. How many steps had he walked by 7 a.m.? Let's read that problem again. This time I'm going to circle or highlight things that I think might be important. Okay. By 7 a.m., Jose had already walked some steps. We don't know how many steps. I'm going to put a question mark there. He walked 726 more steps by noon to make his total steps 837. How many steps had he walked by 7 a.m.? There's a couple different ways we can look at this. We are going to want to make, our book calls it a tape diagram. We used to call it a part. When you're in your younger grades, you called it a part whole. And basically it looks like this. I start out with pretty much just making a rectangle. It could be a square, whatever is easy for you. And my whole is on top. My parts are on the bottom. Well, we know the total number of steps. The total number of steps is 837. So that's my whole. That's all together he walked 837 steps. Now, by 7 a.m., he had walked some steps. That's the part we don't know. This is the part before 7 a.m. From 7 a.m. to noon, we do know that he walked 726 steps on top of what he had already walked. So we know that there's some steps that he already walked, and we know that he walked 726 more steps. Another way of looking at this is sometimes it helps to visualize things on a timeline. You know, by 7, let's see, this will be, let's just call that midnight. By 7 a.m., he walked, we don't know how many steps. At noon, so this is going to be 7 a.m. At noon, well, it'd help if I knew how to spell it. Let's see. At noon, he had walked from 7 a.m. to noon, he walked 726 steps. And the distance from here to here, 837 steps. So there's different ways to visualize it. You need to, sometimes I do both. I draw myself a timeline or a number line, and then I think, oh, I can put that information into this. These are different ways to visualize the problem. Now, the only thing here is that I need some room to solve the problem. I guess I could solve it up here. Okay. So we know that something plus 726 is going to equal 837. I'm going to need to do some erasing. There's not room to write that up there. If I had a piece of paper, I would just move down to an empty part because I like to keep my diagrams there, but I'm just working on this screen here. So something plus 726 equals 837. Well, I'm just not able to pull out of my head what I can add to 726 to equal 837. But what I do know is that a subtraction is the inverse operation of addition And so maybe I can use subtraction to solve this. After all, I know, and I'm just going to put this up here just as an aside, and I want to show you, I know how fact families work. I know that if I have 2 plus 3 equals 5, I know that 3 plus 2 equals 5. I know that 5 minus 3 equals 2. I know that 5 minus 2 equals 3. Those are fact families. I can use what I know about fact families to help me solve this, because I know that if two numbers add together to equal another number, just like up here, two numbers add together to equal a number, I can take this, what my sum was, and I can subtract out one of the addends, and I will get my other addend. Now, of course, in subtraction, the terms are subtrahend, minuend, and difference, but I think you can see that this would be a fact family. Now again, I do not have room to solve this here, so I'm going to need to do some erasing. Don't erase on your paper, just move down to a clean area. I never erase my previous work because I will want to be able to go back to use it. So I don't want to forget this. Actually, you know, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it on a new layer. 837 minus 726. It looks pretty straightforward for a subtraction problem. 7 ones minus 6 ones is 1. 3 tens, take away 2 tens, that's 1 10. 8 hundreds minus 7 hundreds, 8 minus 7 is 1. So how many steps had he walked by 7 a.m.? He had walked 111 steps. And I'm squeezing my letters together. Normally I'd leave a little more space, but I wanted to get it in that box. So he had walked 111 steps. Now could I check it? Yes, I could. 111 plus 726. Well, this is fairly simple to do. We can do it quickly. 6 and 1 is 7. 2 and 1 is 3. 7 and 1 is 8. 837. There you go. Thank you for joining me.